Day one of the legal tampering period of the NFL offseason has come and gone, but there are still a lot of really solid free agent targets that I think Eric DeCosta and Jesse Minter should be calling on and eventually signing. So today, I'm going to give you 5 names to keep an eye out on for the Baltimore Ravens. 5 guys I feel like could come in here and be immediate impact guys in year one and hopefully lead this team to Super Bowl in 2026, or I guess help lead this team to the Lombardi Trophy this next season. We're slowly climbing up the sub battle, which I'm very, very appreciative of. We're still in third place. It's not last, but it's not first yet, okay? Good news is we're only 27 subs down from Steelers Talk. That is a deficit we can make up in mere seconds if you guys just hit that big red subscribe button down below and join us for free daily videos on the Ravens Rundown. It's a great time to do it. Free agency is crazy. Things change. Things happen on a dime. We got you covered right here on the show. Bradley Chubb is my first target we are going to discuss today. 6'4", 268-pound edge rusher, only 29 years old, and he is still available after just about a month from being released by the Miami Dolphins. And I think it's perfect for the Baltimore Ravens because, as we know, he played in Miami last season. Guess who was in Miami last season as well? That's right, your new defensive coordinator, Anthony Weaver. I still truly believe that Bradley Chubb has some good football left in him. Is he past his best years? Yeah, maybe. I feel like the ACL tear at age 27 probably did not do him any favors, but I still believe that he's a guy that can help you down in, down out. I feel like he's a guy that put on the other side of Maxx Crosby can be somebody dangerous. And while I don't think edge rusher is the biggest need on this team, on this roster, I do believe that from a value perspective, Bradley Chubb might be one of the best options out there because it is still a need on the roster. You still do need some depth in that position right now. The only edge rushers you've got signed are Maxx Crosby, Adisa Isaac, Mike Green, and Tavius Robinson. You need one more guy you can trust in that room, and I believe because of Anthony Weaver's time spent together in Miami, that could be Bradley Chubb. Up next is Kevin Byard. Ardarius Washington signed to the New York Giants yesterday in free agency. Alohi Gilman signed last night to the Kansas City Chiefs. You got Malachi Starks. You got Kyle Hamilton. What we know about Jesse Minter is he likes to run that 3-safety style of defense. And Kevin Byard would be an unbelievable plug-and-play player. I think Kevin Byard, over his career, let's just call it the last 6-8 years, has been one of the more underrated safeties in football. And he's still a ball hawk. He's still putting up numbers, 93 tackles, 8 pass breakups, 7 interceptions. He still is great in the run defense. Like, I only think the reason that Kevin Byard has been so slept on in his time in the National Football League is because he started his career out with the Tennessee Titans. And that's never going to really get you anywhere if you're looking at it from a marketing perspective. If you trot out a 3-safety lineup, Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks, and Kevin Byard, I think that would be the best safety trio in the National Football League. And I think that's important when it comes to Jesse Minter's defense because if you look back at the film from his time in Los Angeles, the one thing that was so impressive about the way his defenses were run was the communication, right? At every single position group. If you've got a bunch of veteran safeties like Kevin Byard, like Kyle Hamilton, on the back end of that defense, man, it is going to help it run so damn smooth. If the Ravens could sign only one free agent, who would you want it to be? Let me know your answer down below in the comment section. They've only made one move so far, but hopefully it's not the last move they make. If you are liking the t-shirt I'm rocking today, guess what? You can get yourself one as well. We got a Ravens Rundown merch, chatsports.com/mentor. We got it in a hoodie version. You can get yours today. We got it in a t-shirt version. That's what I'm rocking on this show. Regardless, we've got them both available, multiple sizes. If you go to chatsports.com/mentor, you can get your own today. That link is in the comments and description of today's video. Minter is coming, ladies and gentlemen, and it is going to be a bright new era in Baltimore. I've got a really good feeling about it. Go ahead and get your Minter merch today. Calais Campbell is still available via free agency. And I feel like just because of the age, this is a guy that's going to be available for probably over the next couple of days. I would be surprised if Calais Campbell hadn't signed, like still was unsigned. Let me rephrase that. I'd be surprised if Calais Campbell signed somewhere today. If I'm being 100% honest with you. I would maybe even be surprised if Calais Campbell signed somewhere tomorrow. Now, I'm not worried about the age, but I do still think that when you look at a guy who's 39 years old, you're not going to absolutely rush to get that guy signed to your roster. I mean, look at what happened last year. Calais Campbell signed decently late into the offseason. But, man, age is just a number when it comes to Campbell. 17 games played his last 3 seasons for 3 different teams, Atlanta, Miami, Arizona. Almost double-digit tackles for loss each of those seasons. 6.5 sacks last year for Arizona. 16 quarterback hits. I think that from a career perspective, a longevity perspective, he might be one of the best defensive tackles in the history of this game. And I know that sometimes I can get a little hyperbolic, if you get what I'm saying. I don't believe I'm speaking that way when I speak about Calais Campbell. We know this team needs defensive tackle depth. Even if you have Nnamdi Madubuike back, you got Travis Jones. That's great. I'd like some more rotational guys on the interior of that defensive line. And if you just go out and, imagine this. They get Chubb. They get Campbell, because Campbell's not going to cost you too much. He's almost 40 years old, ladies and gentlemen. They get Chubb. They get Campbell. And your defensive line has the depth of Bradley Chubb, Maxx Crosby, year 2 of Mike Green, Travis Jones, Nnamdi Madubuike, Calais Campbell. Sign me up for that any day of the week. Some other departures in free agency yesterday for the Baltimore Ravens were tight end Charlie Kolar to the Los Angeles Chargers and tight end Isaiah Likely to the New York Giants, which leaves Mark Andrews very lonesome in his room, but hopefully not for long, because you can kind of get that Isaiah Likely replacement in David Njoku, a guy who is definitely more of a receiving type tight end. He's not going to, be in a 3-point stance, hand in the dirt, be as great of a run blocker as I think you'd hopefully want him to be. However, that does not mean that he's not a guy that can go out and, still go for the production that he went once in his career. 882 yards back in 2023, 505 yards in 11 games in 2024. He's got to stay healthy, but if he does stay healthy, he could be one of the best receiving threat tight ends in this game still, even though he's been in the National Football League for quite some time. He's about to be 30 years old. I would really, really like that signing of David Njoku, and then maybe you hit a younger tight end at some point in the NFL draft. We're going to round out today's show talking about one Jauan Jennings, still available in free agency. I think he might be a little bit more expensive than what you're wanting to spend on wide receiver. Maybe if you can pull off some sort of a Rashad Bateman trade, offload that money, get some draft capital back, then you could feel good about the money you have to spend on Jauan Jennings. Regardless, man, I think that he'd be such a good fit in this wide receiver room. I think he'd bring that kind of mentality that's missing in this wide receiver room. He is a guy, like I've talked about a lot with him, he is allergic to running out of bounds. He's allergic to sliding down. He's allergic to avoiding contact, okay? He's had to step up for the 49ers over the last 2 seasons. They've dealt with a lot of injuries to their pass catchers. This last year, Brandon Ayuk just disappeared. George Kittle tore his, was it ACL or Achilles, Gage, for Kittle? Achilles. George Kittle tore his Achilles. Deebo Samuel's not on that team anymore. Ricky Pearsall was in and out of the lineup due to injury. It was just like Mac Jones for 5 games with Jauan Jennings, and Jauan Jennings was still balling, okay? I still think he's a guy that I would really, really like for the Ravens to add. I think he'd be a good fit. Give Lamar just a different type of wide receiver to throw the ball to. What's the Ravens' biggest need right now? Let me know your answer down below in the comment section. I feel like biggest need right now, I guess they satisfied the offensive line need yesterday. I'd say defensive tackle or quarterback. Wide receiver. Excuse me. Let me know your answer down below. That's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you guys get me followed on socials. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well. And a reminder, if you want this merch, chatsports.com/mentor. That link's down below in the comments.